right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chicago Bears Daily. It is, to me, honestly, it kind of feels like fall outside. Today was a little bit better, but yesterday, football, first Bears preseason game. My boy Eric recapped it. Welcome to Chicago Bears Daily. Hit that like button, sub button for daily Chicago Bears content. My name is Jackson. My boy Eric and I run this channel, posting daily Bears content. He recapped that video yesterday if you guys want to go check that out. But what I'm doing today is I'm reading an article from Sam Monson of PFF.com, and he did 3 bold takes for every team in the league. And I want to go ahead and just live react to it. I have not looked at this at all. I did see that Justin Fields was like the first word I saw, and right when it was Chicago Bears, I'm like, all right, scroll up, let's hit record. So if you guys want anything else Bears related, go ahead, drop it down below. But I love looking at like hot takes. I love reacting to hot takes. Like, I'm all for this. If you guys don't like it, I apologize, but like I will always make content like this. So it's kind of tough beans, but I don't mean that in a shitty way. So let's get into it. All right, the first one, I love it. You know what? I love it. Chicago's offensive line creeps back toward average. And let me tell you this, Braxton Jones. And if you guys have been watching this channel for the last couple of months, you know I'm big on Braxton because he went to, not my alma mater, I actually transferred to Loyola Chicago, but my first year in college I spent at Southern Utah. That's where Braxton Jones got drafted. Now I remember getting the text, Southern Utah has a football team? Yeah, we had a football team. My first week at Southern Utah, dude, we lost to Oregon. We watched on the football field because it was in Oregon because we can't handle Oregon's fans. And they lost like 77-3. It was something like 70-7. It was something so bad. But yeah, Southern Utah has a football team. And in my opinion, Braxton Jones, offensive lineman-wise, he's a top 5 pick. He might be the most underrated draft pick of the entire class as far as offensive linemen, or maybe even in the league goes. You got to be wondering to yourself right now, this guy is getting so much praise. He's getting the playing time. He's getting the reps in first team. He's pretty much like essentially a locked-in starter. You got to be wondering 2 things. What is he doing to Robert Quinn, one of the best pass rushers in the entire league, where he's getting this praise? Because that's who he's going up against in first team practice. He's going against freaking Robert Quinn. So you either know one of 2 things. He's either ready, or the Bears think he's ready enough to just throw him out there. Right? Maybe he isn't quite ready yet. Maybe he's not quite NFL ready yet, which, you know, is expected for these young cats. But the risk is probably worth the reward. Because he'll soon, by the end of the season, Braxton Jones, in my opinion, this might be a hot take in itself, will be a very much adequate starter in this league. And I think that's high praise. But I really agree with this. Lucas Patrick also returning at center once he gets back from injury. This offensive line is trending in the right direction. Riley Reiff, like, it's just trending in the right direction, right? So I actually have no worries long-term about the Bears' offensive line. I know they ranked 32nd in the league last year, but it just is not a concern for me. So I like this take here. All right, number 2, Justin Fields drags the team to a respectable record. 100%, dude. This is something that Eric and I talk about in all of our live streams and a lot of our videos. Is we're saying, dude, Justin Fields is so talented in himself. Like, as a player, no matter what team, no matter what scheme, no matter who he has, the assets, the receivers, the running back, the offensive line, Justin Fields is going to make plays, and they're going to come at a more consistent level this upcoming season. It actually pisses me off last year that Andy Dalton was the original starter, and had Andy Dalton not gotten injured, I don't know how many reps Justin Fields got last season. You know, maybe it doesn't change all that much, but I think it was pretty idiotic that Justin Fields didn't start in a majority of the football games last year, if not like, and I'm talking like 13 or 14, like, this year, you're going to really see, we saw tons of glimpses. We saw tons of flashes of Justin Fields last season, but you're going to see them at a much more consistent rate this year. And also, with that being said, dragging to a respectable record. First off, I love the running back position, and I love even the low-key guys, not necessarily as low-key anymore after the first preseason game, and Tristan Ebner. Out of Baylor, Tristan is going to be a G. He already is a G. And I look at those wide receivers, and I'm thinking, once they get healthy, like even guys like Sharp, like just making plays. I absolutely love it. So I do think the Bears are going to be a lot better than I would say national media is giving them credit for. Usually when I look at power rankings in the NFL, the Bears are somewhere between 30th or 30th, 31st, or 32nd. And I have a hard time agreeing with that. I really think a much more reasonable prediction would be somewhere between 20 to 25. I know that is extremely broad, and that's covering a third of the league essentially, but I think 20 to 30th is a much more realistic path for the Chicago Bears this upcoming season. All right, let's get into this last one. The team trades away 2 players before the deadline. So let's see their reasoning. Linebacker Roquan Smith's already requested a trade. That's a move the Bears would likely accommodate if the offer is right. I don't agree with that. I think you'd have to get a pretty crazy lucrative deal where you're like, Ryan Poles is thinking to himself, we can't not take that offer. As far as I'm concerned, Roquan Smith is by far the best Bears defensive player right now. He's the captain. He's the leader of that defensive squad, and he deserves all the money he's asking for. The situation has gotten completely out of hand, especially today. New tampering news. This was something that we've been on this channel. I've been making videos on this last couple of weeks saying this is just not ideal. It's going to work out, but Roquan is definitely not helping the case right now. But when you have a player like Roquan Smith, I know you haven't seen him in this scheme, and that's what Ryan Poles is thinking. All right, we haven't seen this guy in our new scheme. We've completely changed our defensive scheme, and we don't know what Roquan Smith is going to be able to offer us until we see it in live action. So I don't think that Roquan Smith gets traded at any point in this season. I'm sure of it that he's going to get paid. He's going to get his contract. Everybody is going to be happy. I really think you're going to have to get some crazy deal that you would be crazy to not accept for Roquan Smith, that Ryan Poles would be like, all right, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do that trade. Pass rusher Robert Quinn also still has some juice and could be shipped off to a contender during the season. Quinn is a long-term piece in Chicago, which doesn't align with the team's current roster building approach. I agree wholeheartedly. It really sucks because Robert Quinn is a Bears OG. He's a stud in himself, but at the end of the day, does he fit the outline? Not really. Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn, age-wise, we're not necessarily talking a decade difference, but we're getting close to a decade of difference. So Quinn's on the wrong side of 30, and for the Chicago Bears right now, it just doesn't make much sense if his value is this high to hold on to him for much longer. So unless you start seeing, like right out of the get-go, which we've talked about on this channel, maybe you get off 2-0, you beat the 49ers, you beat the Packers, you head into the trade deadline and you are looking, you're above 500 and you might, sneak into the wild card, you might sneak into the division. Who knows what the Packers will look like right now without Devontae Adams. I think they'll be pretty be pretty good, but maybe the wild card, who knows, is basically my thought here. So I think Robert Quinn eventually does end up getting traded, but Roquan, I would say absolutely not. So as far as them trading 2 big players away or 2 players away from the deadline, statistically speaking, the fact that they'll make 2 trades before, I would say probably, but I don't think it'll be 2 crazy big trades. I think we'll see 1 kind of crazy big trade in Robert Quinn. So that's it for today, man. Hit the like button, hit that sub button, go ahead, drop some comments down below. Appreciate all you guys watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.